Welcome to Diplomat TV. In this episode, young Ambassador Yosra visits the Ambassador of Panama. Young ambassadors Jerin and Aldo witnessed an excavation site at the big church in The Hague. And Diplomat TV was able to join the new Ambassador of India during his credentials ceremony and his first activity as Ambassador of India to the Netherlands. When a country assigns a new ambassador to the Netherlands, they visit the king and his palace to present their credentials. The new ambassador will be picked up at the embassy with a royal carriage from the palace. A chamberlain accompanies him.
Today the Ambassador of India, the new Ambassador of India, presented his credentials to His Majesty the King. I went this morning to the embassy to fetch the ambassador, and we drove by carriage to the palace where the ambassador presented his credentials.
I have been a diplomat for 31 years and I have served in Hong Kong, twice in Beijing, in the Indian mission to the United Nations in Geneva, in the Indian Embassy in Washington DC, and as Consul General of India in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. I have also worked in New Delhi in the Ministry of External Affairs, including as Chef de Cabinet to our Foreign Minister. I have worked in our Ministry of Finance, and for the last 5 years I was Press Secretary to the President of India.
Diplomat TV was wondering what it's like for a chamberlain to join an ambassador during his visit to the king.
It's a very nice occupation which takes a couple of weeks every year from my time. It's an honorary function and I like very much this kind of task which I have, accompanying ambassadors to visit the king.
Hey, good. Good. Up. Presenteren. Kom hier.
It was wonderful. The king was warm, friendly, chatty. We spoke about a number of issues. He knows India very well. He has traveled many times. From the time he was a little boy, his father used to take him along with him when he traveled in India. And his father was a person, according to his biographers, who not only was fascinated with the past of India, but firmly believed in the future of India. So we discussed a number of topics, which is where India and Netherlands can work together, including sports, including water, financial inclusion, agricultural exports, sports infrastructure. So it was a very warm, friendly conversation. I'm very happy to be now formally the Ambassador of India to the Netherlands. My hope and my effort would be to take this relationship to a new height which has never been reached before.
Go on.
I think there is huge potential in a number of sectors. Netherlands has considerable strength and world-class expertise as well as companies working in the field of water, in the field of agricultural exports, in the field of logistics, in all aspects of science and technology, especially innovation. Netherlands has some of the best universities in the world. So these are all areas where India can cooperate with the Netherlands and India can benefit from the Netherlands. But equally, India has software, IT superpower. We have companies who have established their base in Netherlands and are catering to the market in Netherlands as well as neighboring countries. There are many countries which are using Netherlands as a base to supply to the whole of Europe.
We asked the new ambassador what will be his first activity as ambassador.
We are going to mark the International Yoga Day. Yoga is this ancient science which was developed thousands of years back by the Indian saints, by people in India who devised a system whereby they could, through different poses and different breathing techniques, you can rejuvenate yourself, you can sort of cure diseases in your body, and you can ensure that you are in good health as well as have a long life.
अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस पर विश्व भर के योग प्रेमियों को अनेक अनेक शुभकामनाएं। इस शताब्दी में हम अनुभव कर रहे हैं, योग ने पूरे विश्व को जोड़ दिया है। जैसे योग शरीर, मन, बुद्धि, आत्मा को जोड़ता है,
as per the resolution of the United Nations and by the initiative of our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, this resolution was adopted in the UN on 27th of September, where he also said that yoga is an invaluable gift of the Indian tradition. Based on that, we decided to hold this event in each and every part of the world, and you would not believe that it was passed by 177 countries of the UN. So this makes it a big thing.
Good morning, friends, ladies and gentlemen, lovers of yoga. Yoga today has become the world's largest knowledge-based people's movement. Over the last 2 years, millions of people have gathered in different countries of the world, in different corners of the world, to come together like all of you have come here today, to mark, to celebrate, to publicize, and to propagate yoga. Why are we propagating yoga, and what is yoga? Yoga is a way of life, a user manual for discovering the potential of every human being. Yoga has nothing to do with religion, but everything to do with spirituality. Because the ancients of India have taught us that by disciplining and training our body and cultivating our mind, we can unite with the ultimate consciousness by whatever name you may choose to call it. Let the entire world, let entire humanity live in happiness, enjoy prosperity, live peacefully. Thank you very much.
Dissolve your thoughts and try to attain a single and pure thought.
Laat alle gedachten komen en gaan als wolkjes aan de hemel.
Exhalation is a passive process. Do not concentrate on inhalation. Please rub your palms against each other and feel the heat. Thank you very much.
It has been fantastic to host for the third time this International Day of Yoga in the atrium of our city hall. More than 700-800 people attended this event, so it is wonderful because, you know, it is embraced by the community here in the Netherlands, in The Hague today. The important thing is you can do yoga on your own, and it's good, but if you do it with 700 and 800 people, it's wonderful. I mean, it's coming together, it gives you energy.
Felt very nice doing yoga, sitting in the ground and watching the sky through this skylights and beautiful roof. The Vice Mayor called it the living room of the city. And we are delighted to be here, and we are grateful to the city government for their partnership in this event.
Together with young ambassadors Jerin and Aldo, Diplomat TV took a look at the archaeological excavation site at the Big Church in The Hague. The Big, or Sint Jacob Church, was built on top of a sand dune. Together with the Binnenhof, is the oldest remaining building in The Hague. The church is located at the edge of the old town where the markets used to be. There were once small houses connected to the walls of the church. Until the year 1689, people were buried in a large cemetery surrounded by a wall that lay in the church square. A part of this wall appeared again during the recent excavations.
Deze heeft ook een mooie aftekening van de kist hier, hè? Ja, dit is geroerd hier. Want hier is het ook allemaal geroerd, hè? Ja.
The Department of Archaeology in The Hague clean up all artifacts before they are studied. Excavated human bones are examined before being reburied at a new location.
Hey, Jerin.
Hey.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hey, good, Peter. Hey.
What I was thinking, isn't it, this is a graveyard, and isn't it disrespectful for the people who's laying there? Is it disrespectful to them that you were digging them up and you were researching them?
That's a good question. Like, the thing is, in the Netherlands, I think everywhere around the world, when your grave isn't forever, but eventually the bones are being reburied. So we have places in The Hague and near churches that we can, on a real graveyard again, then we can rebury the bones, and then it will be at peace again.
Can you tell us about your department?
We're working for the local government, for the city of The Hague. So the city of The Hague has an archaeology department. It's like a team of archaeologists being paid by the city. Well, we're standing now on an excavation done by us, but that's how our department works.
What is the best part of being an archaeologist?
It's a very exciting job. If you're like a field archaeologist, even by standing here, I see it in your eyes too. Everybody is looking at what do they find now, and even for archaeologists, also, although we know what's there, or we know what to expect, it's always very spannend. I'm not sure. Exciting to know, okay, what's coming out next. That's the nicest part. You don't know what to find, and it's the thrill of finding things, and then eventually interpreting them, and then making a story, and you can, put it out in the world. That's also a very nice thing about being an archaeologist.
What is the most interesting thing that you have ever found?
Well, that's a very difficult question because we find a lot of nice things in The Hague. So this is one example of a very nice big project, but we have lots of them. Last year we excavated in the south side of The Hague a very big site for the new freeway into The Hague, the Rotterdamse Baan. And that's a very big project. And we found like hundreds of thousands of findings. And also we found a Roman pot filled with silver coins and bracelets. So it's a Roman treasure. I was the one that we dug it up with a metal detector. So it was like my biggest find ever.
What's the most interesting thing found in this site?
On this site? Well, I'm not the project director of this site, so I'm not sure. But the thing is that we're standing here on the graveyard. So that you see the big church in the background. Around the church, or also like everywhere, there's the graveyard. And even on places like this, when it's also being developed already by tram tracks, and the graves are still in the ground. So the thing that we found, an intact graveyard, still underneath all these activities, that's a very special find. Another special find is a wall around the cemetery. But I think Angelica can talk about it more.
The church is built on sand, and that sand, the dune, is very old. So we can expect here far much older features from people who eventually lived here about 1500 years ago. So this is, for historically point of view, a very important spot in the town. So we are investigating here the churchyard and the houses that were standing on the northwest side of the church. We have found several walls of those houses, and they are dating from the 15th century on. And what we see over there in this area is also a wall, but this is a wall from the churchyard.
And what's going on in this site?
We're excavating a former churchyard of the church we're standing nearby. And as you can see, there are several inhumations still intact. So we're going to excavate them, document them, photograph them, and then afterwards I'll analyze them to see if it's possible to say something about age, disease, stature.
Are you going to bring all those bones here to the laboratory, or only the part that you think will be useful for research?
I will take only the approximately complete or nearly complete ones, so the ones that actually were partly in an anatomical position, and those ones I will check. The one from the big pile of bones, the context is lost, so I'm not taking those.
Is there any more archaeological sites to be discovered in The Hague?
Yes, well, the city of The Hague is a very rich place for archaeology. There's a lot of archaeology to be found here. The earliest remains we find are Neolithic in the city of The Hague, and we're now standing in a historic city. So even until now, it's being people living here and depositing their things. So there's a lot of archaeology in The Hague.
Do you have good budgets for these kind of researchers?
Yes, in the Netherlands it's being done like the people who want to develop something, they have to have a budget for archaeology. So they have to pay for the archaeologists. You can learn about the past, and that's our past. Right? The people lying here are our ancestors eventually, not maybe, but they're living in the same place as we are standing on now. So we have a connection with them.
young Ambassador Yosra will meet the Ambassador of Panama. The Republic of Panama borders Costa Rica and Colombia and is the southernmost country in Central America. A mountain range, part of the Continental Divide, runs the full length of the country. An important source of income for the country is the recently expanded Panama Canal, which connects the Pacific Ocean with the Atlantic Ocean. Panama has several regions where indigenous people can live and enjoy their culture as it was many years ago. Panama City is a busy metropolis.
Hello, welcome to the Panama Embassy.
In 2012, Panama opened its embassy to the Netherlands.
Welcome to the Embassy of Panama in the Netherlands. This is our President, Juan Carlos Varela, and our Vice President, who is also the Minister of Foreign Affairs. These are the rest of our team, Armonía, Chang, and Milciades, each one in a specific area in the multilateral part of the responsibilities of this diplomatic mission. And I wanted to show you here a few pictures from our country. On this one right here, where we started to build the expanded canal. Over here you can see the final product has been completed. This is the new canal, and here you can see the old canal. We have 3 pools of water. This is because the water is being recycled. So here we're recycling more than 70% of the water, which is very important for us, since water is one of the main components of the Panama Canal. Please follow me.
Your Excellency, thank you for having us in your embassy.
You're welcome here.
Your family has an interesting story about Maduro. Can you please tell us about it?
Well, my family, originally, they are from Spain. They left Spain during the Inquisition, and they came here to the Netherlands. My father's name was Eric del Valle Maduro, and George Maduro from Maduro Dam and my father were first cousins. So Maduro family is part of my family, and it was very interesting to come here to the Netherlands, and as a matter of fact, I didn't know, and then all of a sudden they told me there's this place called Maduro Dam.
Our next question is about Dutch people. Could you please have a look at our screen?
Yes, of course.
Your Excellency, since you're appointed as the Ambassador of Panama in Netherlands, what do you think about the Dutch people in general perspective?
Well, I think the Dutch people are probably one of the happiest people in the world. Everybody here has or almost everyone has a huge smile. Everybody's happy. I don't know why, because it's very cold in here in the winter. I guess it's because they're riding their bicycles. We don't have that in Panama. Having been able to get in my bicycle and come to work, this is one of the things that we are probably going to miss most when we're back in Panama. We don't have this. It's so organized and so efficient. We really, really, really like it.
Can you please tell us about your career as diplomat?
This is my first posting as a diplomat. I've worked in the private sector, in shipping, basically for over 28 years. I was president of the Maritime Chamber in Panama for 2 years. And I've been, basically since I graduated, I've been working in the private sector, in shipping, logistics, and this is my area of expertise, really. When President Varela won the election, he offered me this position, and it was a huge, huge honor for us to be able to work for Panama in this country.
Could you please have a look at our screen?
Yes, of course.
Ambassador, can you please tell us about the bilateral relationship between Panama and Netherlands?
Panama and the Netherlands have had diplomatic relations since 1914 when Panama became a republic. We are a logistics and maritime country, so is the Netherlands, so we have many things in common, and we take advantage of that to strengthen even more our relationships. The Netherlands is doing a good job. They're exporting quite a lot over to Panama and using our canal to export their goods over to other places in the world. But we need to be able to do our part, our share too, and get some of our products over here too. So we need to work a little bit more on that, and fortunately the relationship is so good that whenever we call the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they are very eager to help us out in whatever requests we have.
We have another question on the monitor.
Your Excellency, what are the major areas of trade between Panama and the Netherlands?
I think it's not only what we can take from each other. There's so many things in the Netherlands. Every day I see new things here. The way you manage the waste, the way you recycle, the way you handle the water issues. So there's a lot there that we can benefit if we work together with the Netherlands.
Tourism sector is a very big potential in Panama. What steps is the embassy taking to promote this here in the Netherlands?
Well, first of all, to get to know us, because I've noticed a lot of Dutch people do not know much about Panama. We have two oceans. We have the Caribbean Ocean on one side and we have the Pacific Ocean on the other side. And the difference in time between, you can drive in 1 hour, you can swim in the Pacific, drive 1 hour and swim in the Caribbean. I don't think you can do that in any other place in the world.
What's the lesson of life His Excellency Willy de Valle Velasco?
I would say family. My wife and my children are the most important thing in my life, and the rest of my family as well. Friends, the contacts you make are so important in life that you really don't know how important they are. I have many friends all over the world, many friends in Panama, of course, and I can tell you that they have helped me many times, and I have helped them many times, and this is what friendship is all about.
Is there anything you'd like to say that we have not addressed and which you think is important?
The Netherlands is such a wonderful country, and sometimes I think you probably have the same problem that we have. I think Panama is also a very wonderful country, but sometimes we have it for granted. I think you should appreciate the country you have if you don't, because this is for me that I come from another complete different culture. It's such a wonderful country.
Your Excellency, thank you for having us here in your embassy.
It was a pleasure. Thank you, and thank you for the interview.
Thanks for watching Diplomat TV. For any feedback, ideas, or suggestions about our program, please email us at contact@diplomattv.com. We look forward to hearing from you. See you back next episode.